How's it going, everyone? This is Mick back here to review JCW Lunacy number 67. So this show, we're going to start off with a recap of basically what happened after the show went off the air last week. And that's Vito running into Vince Russo's office. He starts yelling at him, basically saying everything is Vince's fault. You know, Vito getting locked in that room and beaten by cocaine and outbreak and all that stuff. And basically everything that's happened to Vito so far is all Vince's fault. You know, Vince makes sure to tell Vito that it's not his fault. Vito came into this place with a fucking wrong attitude to begin with and started screwing around with the guys and being a hard ass and, you know, just doing shit he shouldn't have really been doing. So he's kind of reaped what he sows, basically. So from there, we do a backstage segment that shows Kerry Morton kind of walking around and looking for Matt Cross because he wants Cross to give him answers. What the fuck is he up to? Why has he been sabotaging main events? Why has he been doing what he's been doing? You know, going back to Violet J and everything. So this will be a continued thread throughout the whole show tonight, basically. So he basically walks. This is Kerry Morton I'm still talking about. He basically walks into a room and it shows Caleb Conley, Jeeves, and the Ring Rat. And I think Morton starts asking him basically, "Are you in on this? Why did you give, Cross money to fuck up our match and stuff like that?" And Conley has to tell him, "Hey, I didn't do. My hands are clean. I didn't do any of that, you know." So now we're just going to start off with match number one. This is the triple threat. This is the mystery opponent versus James Storm versus Ken Anderson. They don't waste any time. They have the mystery opponent come out first, and it is Nick Nemeth from TNA, from WWE, Dolph Ziggler, yada, yada, yada. Anderson attacks Storm during his entrance, basically. They brawl on their way to the ring. Meanwhile, while they're brawling on the outside of the ring, Nick Nemeth is just being smart and watching all of it unfold, you know, from the ring. Lays himself on the turnbuckle like Shawn Michaels used to and stuff like that. So he finally decides to join in and he goes outside of the ring and they double team Anderson for a little while. And then they ended up rolling Anderson into the ring. Ken is met with a rocker dropper almost immediately once rolling into the ring. And that ends up getting a 2 count for Nick Nemeth. All three guys are in the ring now and they're just basically trading blows and brawling and things like that. Ken Anderson ends up, you know, instead of doing like one of those timeout things, you know, like they used to do back in the day, like timeout, or whatever. He basically tries to shake both guys' hands, like let's end this thing or whatever, and they're like, "No, fuck you," and they keep, you know, brawling with him basically. Nick Nemeth gives like 10 elbow drops in succession to Anderson and ends up pinning him for a 2 count, I believe. Nick Nemeth goes for a super kick, but Ken Anderson actually sees it coming and low blows him instead and gets him in the fireman slam for a 2 count. All three guys are brawling in the ring. Nick nails Storm with his Danger Zone finisher. Anderson takes advantage of this, though, actually, and throws him out of the ring, goes to pin Storm, but Storm ends up rolling him up for the 3 count instead. So kind of a quick finish to this match, and, you know, it was an okay match for what it was. James Storm is the winner and gets the title shot at the end of the show. Backstage, we see Vito approaching Ruffo and Yabo to chat with them, and he notices in their bag they have a couple of items that are Italian, he claims, like these Italian maracas and a t-shirt that says Italy on it. So he starts questioning them. Are they Italian? And he kind of remembers them from like a long time ago from like the old country, or like the old country, from his old neighborhood and things like that, you know? And they keep telling Vito, "No, we're not Italian. We're not Italian." And they offer him some popcorn and stuff like that. And Vito's like, "Fuck off with your popcorn and stuff." And then Vito leaves, but then he ends up coming back real quick and says, "Hey, you know what, guys? I'm going to give you my number here. You know, if you want to go grab some dinner or something like that, you want to go grab some chicken parm, give me a call." So that's kind of where they ended that segment at. Next up, they do a little promo for Jasmine St. Clair's podcast called Crazy Train. That's Krazy Train. And you can check that out on YouTube, I believe. Jasmine St. Clair's podcast. Check it out. So the next segment shows Vince Russo yelling at Big Al backstage, saying last week was bullshit on her behalf and that she shouldn't be taking advantage of the women, you know, in the division like that. He didn't make her showrunner to basically throw her weight around and make unfair matches and things like that. So Big Al basically says, "Yeah, whatever, I'll apologize to them, but I'm also going to expose you for, basically everything you've been doing to me. And Vince Russo maintains that he's done nothing wrong. There's no pictures for Big Al to show in any of this stuff. So we'll see where this leads eventually. Match number 2 is the best of 3 series, and this is the second match in the best of 3. Ninja Mac is up 1-0. Facade versus Ninja Mac. The match starts out fast. Ninja Mac running drop kick, but Facade dodges. They both try different things, but with no success. It's really fast paced basically. Each one of them just keeps dodging each one's move. Someone will go for something and they just keep dodging it back and forth. Ninja Mac sends Facade off the ropes and does a nice backflip type maneuver, gets to his feet, and they both basically have a standoff. Ninja Mac trips him up, goes for a quick pin. Facade slides out via like a bridge type of a thing and attempts a kick to a head. Mac dodges, pushes him into the turnbuckle. Facade goes for his headstand, tries the mule kick, but Mac blocks it, puts him on the apron, very quickly back and forth action on the apron even, and then Facade with a springboard backflip off the second rope to Ninja Mac for a 2 count. Facade does another springboard roundhouse kick for another 2 count. Quick back and forth action. Both do roll-up pin attempts for 2 counts. A kick to Mac's face leads Facade to go up to the top rope. He runs the top rope, springs off, but Mac catches him and does a major, huge power bomb to him for a 2 count. Facade rolls out of the ring, but that was kind of a mistake for him because Ninja Mac ends up setting him up for the Ninja Special, and it was a really nice one. He then ends up getting him in the ring, and Mac goes for a Ninja Bomb, but modifies it to the second rope instead. But Facade moves out of the way. This ends up happening with Mac end up going to the corner, the opposite corner. Facade climbs the turnbuckle. He runs the rope, springs off, and does this really brutal looking drop kick to Ninja Mac, who's on the way opposite end of the corner. And he gets a 3 count. Series is tied 1-1. That was a very good fast-paced match. Backstage, Vito is on a tirade. He storms into Jasmine's area where she's talking with her team. Vito is going off on her and them for fucking up lately. Vito basically tells her if tonight doesn't turn out good, she can pack her shit and get the fuck out of his apartment, and he don't want nothing to do with her anymore. So after that, we go to a quick shot of Kerry Morton out in the parking lot area looking for Matt Cross. He's like going up to cars and stuff like that because I guess he got tipped off that Cross is out in the parking lot area. Next segment, we see Big Al making her way to the ring. She calls out Danny Moe and Haley J to tell them that she has a match for them that she came up with, and it is a DLC match. Doors, ladders, and chairs. So they have to basically use each one of the weapons in the match, and if they don't, they're fired. So Big Al is really still throwing her weight and her position around with the girls. So basically, Big Al drops another bombshell on them that she's the referee for this match. So Danny and Haley just start fighting, a regular normal fight. Big Al is basically going outside of around the ring and starts throwing all the weapons into the ring for them to use. None of them really want to use the weapons, so they don't. Big Al basically gets into the ring then. She grabs a chair. She tells Haley to use it, and she's like holding it. And Haley's like, no, fuck off. I don't want to use the chair. So then Danny Moe runs up from behind Haley. Haley moves out of the way and drop kicks fucking Big Al with the chair. Big Al lands right in the corner, and she's down. So basically the girls just decide they're going to just start going to town on Big Al. They double team her into the ladder. Danny grabs the door to set it up, but Big Al comes in from behind with a chair, nails both girls, ends up putting Danny Moe onto the door, and then takes Hollywood Haley J up on her shoulders, does a Death Valley driver onto Danny Moe through the door, and basically declares herself the winner and walks off with the women's championship. We'll go to another backstage segment where it shows Vince Russo sitting at this table, and a wrestler that I've never seen before until tonight actually walks in and he starts talking to Vince, and they call this guy Mr. 50s. So I've never seen him before. Interesting guy, smoking a cigarette and shit like that. Cool cool look to him. Later on, I found out that they billed him from the south side of Chicago. Next match is the Outbreak with Flo Kane, Stephen Flo and Cocaine, versus Vito and the St. Clair Monster Corporation, which is Congo Kong, Mr. Happy, and Beastman, with Jasmine St. Clair at their side. The fans at Harpo's threw some straws into the ring for Cocaine, which I thought was pretty nice of them, you know? That was thoughtful. Vito gets on the mic pre-match and yells at the Juggalos and Juggalettes, you know, does his thing, tells them to wipe that paint off their face. And Vito is really good on the microphone, man. He just is. He's one of the best at berating people, and yeah, he's really good. The fans serenade Vito with the "fuck you, Vito" chants, and Vito and Flo mix it up to start the match off. He sends Stephen Flo off the ropes, hard clothesline, and he tags in Congo Kong. Quick double team, but then Vito gets back in with another nice running clothesline to Stephen Flo in the corner. Tags Kong back in for another double team to Flo. This match completely breaks down because Vito won't tag in anybody else but Congo Kong, and the rest of the team is getting kind of pissed off about it. And eventually Mr. Happy gets in Vito's face and basically flips him off, tells him, "Fuck you." He leaves, he gets off the ring apron, he walks away. So does Beastman. So Vito is fucking all pissed off now. And then he turns on Congo Kong. He hits him with the DDT, which allows Cocaine to hit him with the senton for the win. After the match, Congo Kong, Mr. Happy, and Beastman, they're all in the ring kind of fighting amongst themselves again. And it's not good for the Monster Corporation. Jasmine goes running after Vito to find him, to fucking find out what the hell's going on with him. She finds him. They get into an argument backstage. He tries firing her, but she tells him he has no authority to fire her. So next we see a Violent J paid promo. He tells Vito, "Listen with your good ear. Tick tock, something like the pendulum of a clock," is, you know, something along those lines. I liked it. Says he's coming back for Vito, basically. Next match is going to be Mosh Pit Mike versus his mystery opponent. Mike comes out dressed like Cactus Jack, complete with the theme music, which was kind of nice. Dubbed Cactus Mike for tonight. Vampiro then comes out with Madman Pano to announce his opponent. The opponent is none other than Mickey Knuckles. Back and forth match, basically. Both get crotch grabs in, both are beating on each other. Knuckles slams Mike off of the apron to the floor. Both eventually back in the ring. Mike with a double arm DDT, grabs a bag of Legos, puts them on the floor, basically goes to the top rope, does an elbow drop for the 1, 2, 3. He ends up beating Mickey Knuckles. So Madman Pondo ends up coming in, attacks Mike after the match, puts a cinder block right in between his fucking nuts, and just takes the sledgehammer and just pounds the shit out of the cinder block a few times. Just really works him over and shit like that, gets him outside of the ring. They end up just dragging him off. Madman Pondo and Vampiro do. We end up seeing Kerry Morton one more time walking through the parking lot to look for Matt Cross, and he ends up finding him this time, and they end up getting into a brawl. Matt Cross definitely gets the better of Kerry Morton, but, you know, before Cross ends up walking away, Morton asks him why did he do what he did, you know, to Violent J, to his match, to everything. And Matt Cross basically tells Kerry Morton something along the lines of, like, when the time is right, I'll tell everybody, or something like that. Next match is Jeeves with the Ring Rat versus Mr. 50s, Miles Clark. I've never seen this guy before. This is the first time, like I say, when he was backstage talking to Russo. So they bill Mr. 50s as being from the south side of Chicago, which is kind of cool. So Jeeves is immediately distracted by the Ring Rat when the bell rings, and Mr. 50s takes full advantage of this, kind of working Jeeves over a little bit, and gets him up for a really nice delayed suplex, followed up by a nice, what I call a teardrop suplex, but some people might just call like a backdrop suplex or something like that. I always call it a teardrop suplex myself. Mr. 50s was on the second rope. He misses an elbow. Jeeves hits 2 successful clotheslines, like in a row basically, goes for a body slam, but Mr. 50s slides out, puts him in a full Nelson, but is distracted by the Ring Rat. He ends up planting a kiss on her. Jeeves kind of runs in from behind and tries to nail him, but he sees him coming, and Jeeves stops short of running into the Ring Rat. but he actually reapplies the full Nelson, gets Jeeves to the mat, and ends up getting the submission victory. So Mr. 50's Miles Clark over Jeeves on this evening's episode. So now we have another backstage segment, and we see kind of an open door, but it's only cracked open just a little bit. So we see Vince Russo kind of yelling at somebody. We don't know who it is. He's basically saying, look, man, you're the chosen one. You are an extension of me, and I need you to cut the bullshit, and you need to start being a feared force or something like that, and you can't be losing or something along those lines. And you need to get serious. So that's kind of where they end that, and I don't know who he's talking about. It could be Caleb Connolly, maybe. Could be Matt Cross. Could be any number of people. You never know. So now we're on to the main event, JCW Championship. James Storm versus Matt Cardona. Match starts. Cardona leaves the ring, jaw-jacking with the fans, gets a microphone, starts yelling at people, says basically, I am not a pussy. Show me some respect. He goes towards Storm and says he's just leeching off of my buzz. You're not on my level. You're nothing. Storm has had enough, and he basically pie faces him, throws him off of the ropes, and does a sling blade. Storm sets up for the last call super kick, but Matt Cardona sees and bails to the outside of the ring and starts talking some more shit to the fans. He basically tears one of the fans' sign in half. James Storm comes out there, starts brawling with Cardona a little bit, takes one of the fans' bottles of Faygo, actually. Storm goes to throw Matt into the stairs, but Cardona reverses it and throws James Storm into it knee first, basically. So for a while, Matt Cardona is just working over James Storm, running him from pillar to post, basically, inside and outside of the ring, just giving him a good fucking beat down for a while. Back inside the ring, Matt Cardona is just doing a lot of chokeholds to James Storm, choking him out a little bit, talking shit. He ends up doing a neck breaker, which gets him a 2 count. Both men brawling back and forth. He throws Storm over the top rope, but James Storm hangs on, does the skin the cat thing, comes back, does his inverted atomic drop, and gives him a good smack to the face. Storm hits his DDT for a 2 count. Matt Cardona ends up in the corner. James Storm charges him, but Matt pulls the referee in front, but Storm stops short of hitting the referee. But Cardona ends up going for a clothesline to James Storm. Storm ducks, hits the referee instead. So, of course, the referee's down, and now James Storm is able to hit the last call super kick. There is no referee to count the pin. So now with no referee down, and basically James Storm has the match won, out comes Ken Anderson. He hits James Storm with the belt. He puts Matt Cardona on James Storm. The referee is immediately revived and counts the 3 count. Matt Cardona retains and is still the JCW champion. Basically now we're going to end the show with one more backstage segment, and this is out in the parking lot. Russo is informed about something going on out back. So he runs out the door and he sees Madman Pondo in a car with Mosh Pit Mike on the ground, basically in front of the car. Looks like Pondo's about ready to run over him. And you see Vampiro just kind of off to the side, enjoying what he's about to see. And Russo ends up yelling at both of them, telling Pondo to cut it out, fucking knock it off. Tells Vampiro, stop this shit. He needs to fire Pondo right now. Russo ends up picking up Mosh Pit Mike and dragging him back to the inside of the building, basically, and rescuing him, I guess. So that's where this episode goes off the air. Another pretty good episode, all things considered. A lot of things going on, a lot of action. I mean, one thing you can say is it's never boring, that's for sure. So thanks for watching my review of it, guys. I hope you liked it. Please give it a like, because that helps my video out. It helps the channel out. Gives me positive reinforcement that I should keep doing these videos. Give the video a like, it helps. Comment if you like. See you guys the next time.